So to this more present moment, as you've laid it out, as we watched the Trump administration begin to withdraw U.S. aid, international aid, domestic programs, make cuts across the board, both internationally and domestically. And I was hearing from both people I worked with and people as in evaluation and in programming about the amount of devastation that was going on. And there was a lot of press coverage of it. It struck me that over my 50-year career, that evaluation has had a fairly positive bias in the sense that most of what we do is document successes. And so they're either successes or things don't work, but that we have not had a history of documenting destruction, that we've not had a framework for looking at what happens, not when there are efforts to improve things, to innovate, to do new things, but when there's a concentrated effort to destroy. And that then seemed to me to,
Yes.
especially for philanthropy, to pose the challenge of we document when we have a positive impact. Usually the default is no impact, but to document the scope of destruction, the destruction of communities, the lives put at risk, increased deaths from disease and malnutrition, that we needed to document this destruction with the same rigor that we document success. And of course, the primary frame that philanthropy has had for dealing with shocks to the system is resilience. And so that's what gave rise to the question of if we're really going to look at whether or not grantees have the capacity to be resilient from such shocks, that would require a different kind of follow-up than we typically do. In fact, we don't typically really follow up grants. At the end of a grant, the grantees are asked to state how they're going to sustain what they had done during the grant period. And as a foundation president once told me, and is quoted in the article, they pretend to be genuine about what they're going to do and maintaining what they've accomplished, and we pretend to believe them. And that's the most that we do around actually evaluating sustainability and resilience. We're in a moment where that learning needs to be accelerated. That's what I suggested in the article.